In slow motion, we're getting an action where we're stride back knee and we're seeing a movement of the hands to midpoint. We call this float loading the lever assembly. We call it dropping the lever assembly into the slot, the back elbow moving into a slot that passes the right front pocket to the back front pocket toward the belly button. The lever assembly moves in this direction. That's on line. That's referred to as linear, on line flow. A linear, line drive. We want this type of flow. We do not want circular action. If lever assembly is properly established at the power base, stride, back knee trigger, lever assembly established, power collectors and pressure points felt, there will not be tension in your hands. There will not be clubhead throwaway. There will not be grunt reflex. There will not be spasm. There will not be hit impulse. We will not cast the bat out here. And just as we said earlier, if on our stride we overstride, we can't ever get it back. The body is gone. It can't be recovered. But if we get to a power base and we're in good shape and we destroy the power base by losing the lever assembly where it cannot be utilized and the pressure points and power collectors are messed up, we can't get that back. So there's two very critical points. We're in sequence, we're in third gear, and we're traveling down the highway in pretty good shape, aren't we? Well, we think we are. Well, quite frankly, we've done most of it at this particular point. If we have made the move, stride, trigger, lever assembly comes to midpoint, float loads, drops into the slot, what is left? Merely the firing of the barrel. The bat will travel because the speed muscles of the hands and forearms are loose and relaxed and at the proper level of release. And my, is it a beautiful thing to watch. It's an inspiration. You can walk by a ball field 100 yards away, and if you have the eye and understand the technique and somebody makes a swing, you say yes. It becomes that clear cut to you. When you have kids in camp like a Skipper Sharp, who's now out of Bossier City, Louisiana, and he moves someplace, you have a guy come back like that, you see him swing the bat from the opposite end of the cage, you say, yeah, he's been in camp before. It becomes that clear when a guy has the number of repetitions necessary to get to a point where he understands sequential locking, unlocking, stride, back knee, lever assembly established. The bat is automatically released. It doesn't have any problem. You don't have to think about it. You don't even swing it. It's automatic. It'll react. And it has quickness and movement. Bang, 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 bang. It travels. Notice it travels here to here. It travels. It's not choked off. It's not muscled to death. It's not gripped to death. The prehensile grip is not used to choke the bat down to where you don't have anything out of it. It's in a position where it's loose and relaxed, and the bat will get here, and the lever assembly will be an automatic release. When you work in automatic release drills, you actually feel the back elbow reach the point where it can't travel any further. What happens then? Automatic release occurs. You don't even have to think about swing. You never consciously have to think swing the bat. It will become the way of, if I'm mechanically correct. And I'm getting sequence down. Now, one of the very difficult things you'll have is to get that back knee triggered before the lever assembly starts. But relaxation is the thing that you'll learn. What you're learning here today, you may not hear. Are you listening? You may not hear it again. You may not go anywhere and find it. So you better get it while you got a shot at it. You better get it now. You know, in the 8 hours a day, over the next few days, you have a chance to get it now. Get most of it now. Write it down. Think about it. Yeah, you'll be able to come back to camp. You'll be able to come back. You'll be able to study your notes. But gentlemen, I guarantee you, get it now. Don't waste an hour over the next 2.5 days getting things written down. I want my players to take good notes. I want them to have things to go refer to think about, that's further memory keys. Because they understand muscle memory. They understand it takes 21 days to learn a new motor skill. It may take 35 days for some. It may take 6 weeks for others. If they're going to make themselves better players, we're going to get them a good power base, and we're going to get them a good lever assembly, and and we're going to get them a good release, and we're going to make them good fundamentally. We're going to make them sound fundamentally. They're going to work with me. Their stroke will be their stroke, not my stroke. Different strokes for different folks. Each guy has the personal responsibility. Now listen, each guy has the personal responsibility for his stroke. If he's successful, he's successful. I'm not successful. If he fails, he fails. I often feel like I failed then. But the player controls the learning environment, and he learns at his pace in relationship to how motivated he is and how hard he'll work. Will he set a goal? Will he establish a plan of action? To understand sequential unlocking, it can be done. I see it happen every day. I see some people learn in a month. I see others take a year or two. It's not an easy process. If everybody could do it, I would put it in a little vial over in the chemistry lab here at Oklahoma State, and I would have you drop by here and I would anoint your head with it, right? And we just pour it on your little head and baptize you with hitting magic medicine. Ha, doggy, wouldn't that be great? Wouldn't that be super? And that way everybody could have it and we'd all be good hitters and nobody would care, because nobody would be out here going to Gary Ward's Oklahoma State Mid-America All-Star Baseball Camp. Nobody would need to learn to hit, because we could sell the formula to everybody. Everybody's looking for a secret. They ain't out there. They ain't out there. You've got all the theory right now. You've got the full set of information that says, I can learn to hit. I can learn sequential unlocking. I can learn to control a series of body arcs. Now, one other hitting definition. Hitting is arriving on time, on plane, in rhythm. Well, in rhythm means in sequence. So we've studied that. We've got our 4-speed Toyota transmission working, just buzzing. 1, 2, 3, 4. How sweet. How sweet it is. And we're going road speed right down the road, feeling good about our swing. What does that other definition mean? Third definition of hitting, arriving on time, on plane, in rhythm. Have you ever tried to shift too fast with your sticks shift Toyota? You grind a little metal, don't you? Pretty hard to do. You have to slip the clutch, pop the clutch, and everything's lurch, 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 lurch. That's what velocity does to us as hitters if we're too late arriving. What happens to us if the guy is throwing a little pus up the plate? You know what pus is, don't you? Pus is that stuff that oozes out of sores, and then some pitchers throw that stuff up there. That's what the baseball looks like. They throw it about 75 and then spin it and roll it and spin it, and we have a hard time hitting those guys, don't we? And coaches do what? They take hard throwers and put soft throwers on top of them, correct? Why do they do that? To break our rhythm, break our timing. So if hitting's arriving on time, on plane, in rhythm, then we're talking about the first part of it, arriving on time, is a matter of taking a proper stride at the proper time. So if he throws at 90, I may have to stride a little early before I see the ball.